I found something that I'm not sure if I should be upset about. Hey campers, George here. Going for a little trudge. A little basic bushcraft. Gonna go and look for some wood. A stick. Not having a lot of luck here, but I persist. There's a lot of wood on the ground, a lot of dead trees, but nothing that is going to work for me. Still, it's good to be out. Lots of sticks, none straight enough, none the right thickness, and none long enough. Huh. Huh. Maybe. Oops. Punkwood. Well, kind of frustrating. I think I found a couple of pieces that might work. The reason I'm out here, and I'll explain it. When I'm watching bushcraft videos, I see a lot of knife and hatchet work. Well, don't own a hatchet, but I do own a trail boss. And I thought, maybe I need to see if I can get that to work with me. To be honest, a good hatchet is out of my budget. So if I can get my trail boss to do what I needed to do, maybe I don't need a hatchet. Time to test my trail boss skills. So I found this spot just to sit and maybe on this log, which will give me a workbench that I can work with. But to be honest, I found something that I'm not sure if I should be upset about. People leave trash lying around. However, this trash might be interesting to some people. Check it out. See it? Five full cans of beer and one bottle. Should I be grateful or should I be upset? Let me know in the comments below. Move. I think I found a better place that I like. Closer to the water. Personal preference. And a nice place to sit and work wood on. Nice little platform. This would make a nice campsite actually. I don't know if you can see that. This log here, that whole tree curves around nicely to make a nice barrier. Can you see that? And there's enough trees around to put up a top. Huh. Good place for a day camp. Like it. And here's my working platform. Nice piece to sit on and work on the wood. Huh. What a day. A nice day, chilly, overcast, clouds are building, but a nice day out, nice and quiet, not too cold, not too hot, almost perfect. I want to try something different. Most bushcraft videos I've watched have either used a hatchet or a knife. As I said, my budget, if I'm going to get a hatchet, I want a good one. And they're just out of my price range right now. But I do have the Trail Boss. This guy here. It's not a big axe for camp work. And it's the cold steel Trail Boss. And I want to see, with enough practice, if I can get this to be my hatchet. But it's big enough to do some of the work that I need, the heavy work. But I want to see if I can do some more bushcraft hatchet work with it. Let's try it out. I'm going to get two pieces of wood. One I would like to make a walking stick, a hiking pole out of, and the other, just use it to practice some skills with my Trail Boss. I have with me my handy steel PS10. Going to use that just to cut a couple of pieces of wood, and let's see what damage we can do. Well, that was harder than it looked. So I found 2 sticks, and I have this one, a smaller, thinner one that I just want to use for some practice, and then this guy, a little bit bigger, and it might just work for a hiking pole. We'll soon find out. There you go. The bag is hung. That'll keep it out of the wet. So the first thing I want to do is just get used to using my trail boss again. And always remember, safety first. Gloves, and never cut towards you in any way. Always away from you can work to your sides, or make sure you are spread in the middle here so that if you miscut, it won't go into you. You're going to hit the wood first. If you keep your working base short, it's harder for the axe, certainly when you chop, to get to you. So remember, safety first. So like I said, I just want to get used to my trail boss, to handling it again. It's been a while, and it's time. Never throw your cover on the ground. Put it in a pocket so you know where it is and it's not going to get lost. What I do is see if I can just chip away at it and maybe sharpen the end of this stick. So not bad, hard to get used to. The first thing I noticed, the handle was hitting my leg. So you probably have to work further away from yourself. So to give yourself some room, or maybe at an angle like that, so the handle isn't going to catch on anything. We got a pointy stick, which you could use that to make a post, to put your tarp on, hang something up, use it as a support, whatever the reason. So we know we can do that with it. That's not surprising. And of course, its real use is chopping wood. As I was saying before, if you keep your working base close to the ground, where you're working from, if I miss hit, it's going to come down here onto the ground and not into me. Keep that in mind. So you'll notice that I'm doing everything one-handed, and the reason for that is when you're doing close work, you're going to be holding your stick. So I'm hoping if I can get used to working with one hand, I'll be a lot safer and a lot more comfortable. So now that I tried sharpening the stick, that seems to work. No real issues there, except I'm going to have to get used to this handle. You're working up here and you have all this handle behind you. It's going to get in the way of your leg, under your arm, things like that. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to use it so that it doesn't do that. What I'm thinking right now is working that way with it, where the handle is not going to be under my arm, because what's going to happen, I'm going to try and do something, it's going to hit my arm and swing down. Now we want to try something a little bit more delicate, and that is, let's see if I can strip the wood. All I want to do is take the bark off, using a sharp chop down motion to see if I can get the bark off here without taking too much off, where I'm going to reduce the size of the stick, just like with a knife, to use maybe my thumb, use it to control how I'm stripping. Now that gives me a little bit more control, but it's slower. If I'm doing this, I'm working quicker, and of course time determines that. Depending on what situation you're in, will determine how quickly you want to work. So I can tell right now already I'm feeling it in my hand, trying to grip this. So I'm going to take this off, out of the way. Just moved it to the bottom of my handle. Now I have a smaller area to handle. And I can bring my hand right up against the head of the axe. And I can feel already I have a lot better control. I can feel a lot smoother on the stripping, which is a plus. The next question is, make a notch in the wood with the axe. Let's give it a try. Just cleaning an area here to make the notch. Now, first thing when you make a notch is you make a stop cut. I'm going to do that right now because I'm just going to make a regular notch. Nothing fancy, just a notch. If I work my way down, I've noticed that the notch at the stop cut is not quite square and is angling slightly, but that's a little better. I got to clean it up and you can see it there. So I can do a basic notch with it, which really, I can make a 10 peg and put a notch in it because I know I can sharpen one end. Handling the axe though, it's heavy and I'm feeling it in my hands already. But I can make a notch. So now I know I can chop a piece of wood, I can put a notch in it, I can sharpen one end, which means I can make 10 spikes, at least, out of this. Other things, I'm not sure. But I think with practice, and certainly getting used to the weight of the axe, is something that I need to work on. So I'm going to make myself a 10 peg really quickly, and let's see how it works. So I've cut me a piece of wood. I'm not going to strip the bark. I just want to practice those smaller skills that I need. Sharpening, rounding this off, and putting a notch in it. So I've sharpened it. I can definitely feel my hands are tired, and I'm struggling with controlling where I want to hit. With time and getting used to it and working on it, that'll help. So it's sharpened. Now I need to put a notch in it. I just remembered I brought my mallet with me, but I'm thinking that this is not going to be heavy enough to use to batten the axe, but let's give it a try. Yeah, definitely won't work for the axe. I need a heavier piece of wood to do it, I think. That worked a little better. Still not quite heavy enough, but it'll do the job. I now have a stop cut. I have my notch. So I have my spiky point, my very plain notch, and my concern is it going to hold? Well, I think if the spike is in this way, your cordage goes around there, it's not going to come off. It's certainly going to help. Now I need to round off these ends. The wood split. Oh, it's just the bark coming off. It's thicker than I thought it was. So I got the end rounded off. I now have my peg. Not perfect, but it'll work. And of course, if I take the bark off, it'll look pretty. One thing I do want to do is see if I can make a feather stick with my axe. Would I do that? Probably not. I'd probably use my bush law. Most of the tasks I've just done with my axe, I can probably do with my bush law no problem, and a lot better. But you never know. Let's see if we can feather a stick. How small do we want to go? Let's see. Let's give it a try. it's a start. I'm having a problem with it sinking into this wet wood, but let's see if we can. But we got a feather, would certainly help. Allegedly. Judging from this, with a little bit of practice, getting used to handling the axe with my hands, I certainly felt they got tired really quickly. I could feel the strain on my hands. When that happened, I tended to lose a little bit of the control that I was looking for. Can it be avoided? How do you strengthen your hands to use an axe? Use it all the time? Is it necessary? Do people use their hatchets for the same thing? I don't know. But for me, I wanted to try it out and see if it would work. So far, so good. How far I can take it, I'm not sure. Could I make a pot hanger, something like that with it? Probably. If I took my time and was really careful, I could probably do it. So my trail boss worked pretty good for me. One thing is I'm certainly going to have to make sure that it's sharp. Is it sharp now? Not as sharp as it could be, and maybe I need to work on that. Certainly sharpening the tip is going to make a big difference. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Maybe something else I can do with my trail buzz. Maybe not. Only time will tell. And don't forget, I've still got this thing to work on. A walking stick, a hiking pole, a whittling stick, maybe a hiking tri-stick, hiking tri-pole. Make a hiking stick with all sorts of notches and things on it. Might look pretty cool if you do it right. Got to think about it though, how I'm going to do it. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.